There was no physical fight on stage, but they both went to the back. And don't know what happened back there. I'm pretty sure they didn't braid each other's hair, though, or give each other hugs. Pretty sure that was not happening. So, hey everybody, how are you doing today? I'm here to tell you about the time I almost met Yngwie Malmsteen. So I was doing a little Googling last night to kind of figure out the exact date, and much to my surprise, God, it was even longer ago than I thought. The year was 1994, and that would be July 26th, 1994. Yngwie Malmsteen performed at Bogart's in Cincinnati, Ohio, as part of the Seventh Sign Tour. Bogart's is, one of the places in Cincinnati where, you're not going to get Journey there, but you're going to get people like Yngwie, people who are maybe not able to sell out a stadium or a huge arena, but, definitely deserve a decent-sized room, that kind of thing. Every city has one of those, their own Bogart's. So it was July 26th, 1994. And that would mean it was about a year after I finished high school. And I would have already been in my first year at Wright State University. In fact, thinking back, geez, that would mean I was about to start going to the Atlanta Institute of Music. And I was on summer, I suppose, because I started there. I guess it was September of 1994. It had to have been. So, wow, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Okay, so, like I said, I did a little Googling on it, and I actually found the set list. And at the bottom of the page, it said something, which I will share with you later, which is very important to this whole video, and it kind of made me chuckle, because that's what inspired me to make this whole video. So, more on that in a bit. I got into Yngwie, it would have to have been 89 or 1990, just shortly after I started playing guitar. The first album I got was, here it is, Marching Out. So this one, of course, has I'll See the Light Tonight on it, and I'm a Viking, stuff like that. But hearing this, I really got into it, and that prompted me to buy other albums. So by this time, I would already have had all these. Good old Live in Leningrad, Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force, the Yngwie Malmsteen Collection, which is obviously like a greatest hits. Rising Force, his first solo album. Eclipse, which I love, lots of great songs on there. And Fire and Ice, which says I got it in July of 1993 for $5.50 used. And I probably got it right by Bogart's. I kind of remember getting it. It had to have been. Probably at Wizard Records or Moles Records. One of the two. Oh, and of course, Trilogy. I had that as well. So, more on the Trilogy one in a little bit. Maybe you saw what I flashed you right there. I don't know. I guess you could always rewind back and look. But more on that in a bit. So, at the time, Yngwie's band, he had Mike Viscara on lead vocals, who's known for the band Loudness, amazing singer. He had Barry Sparks on bass, who I'm pretty sure I actually met. I'm quite sure I saw him at Annie's, which is another place kind of like Bogart's here in Cincinnati. And I remember seeing Don Dawkin. I think he had John Norum playing guitar. Forgot who he had on drums, but I'm pretty sure Barry Sparks was the bass player. So, I don't remember who was playing keyboards for Yngwie that night. Just don't remember. But the drummer was Mike Tirana, and plenty more on him in just a bit. I already knew of Mike from his work with Tony McAlpine, who is an amazing guitar player and keyboardist. He's known for his solo work, and also he's played a lot with Steve Vai in his live band. And he's every bit the guitar player Steve Vai is. Amazing. And just as good on keyboards and piano, too. He's a Chopin freak. So, anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, during the show, I remember noticing that there was definitely some tension between Yngwie and Mike Tirana on stage. For example, Mike would do little kind of unnecessary drum fills, maybe between songs or something like that. Yngwie would look at him and point and give him a dirty look and glare at him. And after a bit of that, there was one song, I don't know what song, it doesn't matter. Whatever it was, they finished playing it, and Mike decided to do some extra, some big cymbal crashes. And when he did it, the look on his face was kind of like, yeah, Yngwie, I did that. What are you going to do about it? So it was certainly challenging Yngwie. Now, Yngwie is certainly known for his temper. He, without even thinking, he took his guitar off his shoulder. He hurled it right at Mike and did not hit Mike because Mike is so surrounded by all his drums. He did certainly, it crashed into cymbals and Mike was shielded. So Yngwie, if the drums are here, Yngwie starts, storming, circling around here to get to where Mike is, who's over here. Mike gets up, starts walking that way, so they're both kind of circling. That sucked. I was thinking to myself, like, geez, what's going to happen now? A few minutes later, Mike Fiscara, the singer, comes out, and he apologizes to everybody, and he says, I'm really sorry. Things got very heated back there. The show is over. So we're all thinking, or at least I was like, God, I only got a few songs in. I only got to hear a few songs. I'm very disappointed. I didn't get to hear Demon Driver. I didn't get to hear Trilogy Suite. There was all kinds of stuff I was hoping to hear. Of course, looking at that set list, I guess I didn't miss Demon Driver because that wasn't even on the list. Okay, yeah, I should also point out, at that time, Yngwie was a pretty big dude. And, I think he's already pretty tall to begin with. But, he was pretty big. And, I wouldn't want somebody like that coming after me. But, to be fair, Mike Fiscara, he didn't look like a real tall dude, but, he's built like Glenn Danzig or Wolverine or something. He's like real wide looking. So, he's no slouch either. So, I was thinking to myself, this sucks. I paid what little money I had to see one of my guitar heroes and barely got to see the show. So, what do you do next? Well, if you're at Bogart's, you go around back and you wait to meet the band and hang out, get autographs, that kind of thing. So we went to the back and, within almost no time, Barry Sparks, the bassist, and Mike Fiscara, the singer, came out. Super friendly, talked to everyone. Pretty sure I got them to sign my ticket stub, which is in this house somewhere. I think I know where. But I did not bother to dig it out. I don't remember seeing the drummer Mike come out. I guess he was still, after whatever happened back there, he didn't feel like being too chummy with everybody. So next I waited in line at the bus, the tour bus there, to try to get Yngwie's autograph. Now, I was the very dead last person in line. That's just me. Somebody has to be last, and I was the last one to get in line, right? So I get in there, and keep in mind, I'm seeing people handing stuff to the roadie, tour manager, whoever he is. I guess they took it up, had Yngwie sign it, and then they give it back to you. So there wasn't really a meeting of Yngwie. It was more of you meet the roadie guy, and then he hands it to Yngwie, and you get your stuff back. So it gets to the very end. I'm, of course, the dead last person in line. And I remember asking the guy who was taking the stuff, I said, so is Yngwie still doing autographs? And he looked at me and he said, yeah, but we got to hurry up. We got to get moving. And I remember thinking, wow, that just feels crappy. Came out here to see Yngwie and gets in a fight, cuts the set very short, doesn't even have time to talk to anybody, no personal apology. I was not impressed. So anyway, I remember I had this, and that's how I got this sign. This is my copy of Trilogy, and I handed it to the guy, and he handed it to Yngwie, hopefully. Maybe someone out there knows. Is that really Yngwie's autograph? I'm hoping it is. So I got that done. And I also had this guitar with me. This used to be my main guitar. I would play all the time, and it became something I started having people autograph. That right there is hopefully Yngwie's. It says 7th sign, and that's his signature. And I've had other people sign this, by the way. That's Steve Kahn, who used to be in Steely Dan. This one, that was, I'm pretty sure, where Richie Kotzen signed it. Very nice guy. Got to meet him. I think Sean Lane signed it right up there as well. Unfortunately, that one wore off. So lots of guitar heroes have signed this. Steve Vai is on here somewhere. Was on here. Alex Skolnick, you can still see. Very nice man. Michelangelo Badio, he was the first one who ever signed this guitar as well. So lots of great players have signed that guitar, and it means a lot to me. Very cool thing. So speaking of Yngwie, while I've never, I never actually got to meet him, I did get to meet someone who is very associated with Yngwie. Several years back, my wife and I went to Las Vegas, and we went to the Hard Rock Casino, and they had a show at the time called Raiding the Rock Vault, which was a lot of fun. It's got so many members, we're all, whether people are on tour, other people kind of come in. So, I mean, they have multiple drummers, multiple singers. Blas Elias from Slaughter, he's there. People from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, from Foreigner. And then I got to meet one of the iconic Yngwie Malmsteen singers. And that is, of course, Mark Bowles. He was the singer on Trilogy, the album I was just holding up a minute ago. So he sang stuff like You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget, Liar, Queen in Love, all that good stuff. Very cool, very nice man. Very honored to meet him. And I'm sure I kept telling my wife all night, that was the dude who sang that stuff we listened to earlier. So very cool experience. Anyway, that is my story of the time I almost met Yngwie Malmsteen. I have not seen him again live since. I would certainly like to. Don't think that I have some grudge against him that I don't even know him, obviously. Don't think I have some kind of thing as a fan where I'll never see him again. I'd certainly do it again. We've all done certain things in our life that maybe we wish we hadn't or regret. I'm sure this is probably one of those for him. I would love to see him live again. Maybe next time he comes back to this area, I will certainly go and see him again. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you and peace out. Several years back, my wife and I went to Las Vegas, and we went to the Hard Rock Casino, and they had a show at the time called Raiding the Rock Vault, which was a lot of fun. It's got so many members, we're all, whether people are on tour, other people kind of come in. So, I mean, they have multiple drummers, multiple singers. Blas Elias from Slaughter, he's there. People from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, from Foreigner, Quiet Riot,